Have you ever wondered why older men seem to hold a certain understanding of what truly makes women feel fulfilled during intimacy? For those who have experienced a few decades of life, there's a unique wisdom and insight gained not from rushing, but from connecting. Today we're diving into what older men understand about pleasure that others often overlook. Stick around, because some of these insights might surprise you. And if you think you already know it all, you might find yourself rethinking a thing or two by the end of this video. Point 1. Understanding emotional connectivity. Let's start with emotional connectivity, a term that may sound abstract, but is truly at the core of every meaningful experience. Older men often understand that pleasure isn't just physical, it's deeply emotional. They've learned that by tapping into their partner's emotions, they're not only creating physical satisfaction, but are also building a unique bond that leads to real enjoyment. And no, this isn't about some grand romantic gesture. We're not talking about sweeping someone off their feet with poetry, unless you're good at that, of course. Instead, it's about knowing how to be present and genuinely aware of her. By maintaining this level of emotional connection, older men often unlock a deeper sense of satisfaction that younger guys may not realize is even possible. Point 2. Embracing a patient approach. Now, here's something that older men excel at: patience. They've come to understand that there's no need to rush. In a world that moves at a breakneck pace, they know the value of slowing down, tuning in, and truly savoring every moment. Imagine this: by simply not rushing, they allow for a richer, more fulfilling experience. Older men have often learned that real satisfaction builds over time, and that it's this patience, this sense of ease, that often leaves the most lasting impression. Ever heard the phrase "slow and steady wins the race"? Well, here, it couldn't be more true. Point 3. Prioritizing communication. Older men have a skill that is often underrated in creating real satisfaction: open communication. They understand that asking questions, and more importantly, listening to answers, is a key part of creating trust and comfort. They ask, they listen, and they pay attention to the little things, like tone of voice or subtle cues. This doesn't just increase pleasure, it shows respect and attentiveness, which leads to a connection that feels truly unique. Now, this next point might surprise you, something you'd only learn after years of experience. Point 4. Knowledge of subtle techniques. Over the years, older men tend to pick up on certain subtleties, call them techniques, or insights that amplify satisfaction. They're aware that it's the little things that matter, often more than grand gestures. They've learned when to be gentle and when to be firm. This isn't about tricks or routines, but rather the art of responding in the moment. This kind of subtle awareness comes with experience and understanding, and it's something only time can teach. Think of it like learning a musical instrument. It takes practice, rhythm, and a bit of finesse. Point 5. Appreciating the power of self-assurance. There's one thing older men have that sets them apart: self-assurance. They aren't caught up in trying to prove themselves. They're comfortable in their own skin. This confidence brings an authenticity that's both attractive and reassuring. They know they don't need to put on a show, and that very assurance creates a natural atmosphere of trust and enjoyment. Self-assurance can transform any experience into one that feels genuine and satisfying. Point 6. Letting go of perfectionism. And finally, there's one last lesson only years can teach: letting go of perfection. Older men understand that intimacy isn't about doing everything right. They've learned that genuine satisfaction comes from embracing imperfections and being present, rather than trying to live up to some ideal. This acceptance makes the experience more fulfilling, more authentic, and ultimately more pleasurable. It's not about creating a perfect moment, but about creating a real one.